debut game at Chelsea, man of the match performance, and an assist, a crucial assist to ensure Chelsea actually bag all the 3 points against Bournemouth. Jadon Sancho has actually answered critical questions in Enzo Maresca's system. Enzo Maresca describes Jadon Sancho as a player who's coming to Chelsea, and he will help Chelsea in a way that he didn't help Manchester United. In that, Sancho is not the fastest player, neither is he the player who makes runs in behind, but he will be an incredible asset for Chelsea in 2 ways. And that is what we are going to discuss in our video, focusing on how Jadon Sancho managed to change Chelsea's fortunes in the second half. This is a player who's giving Chelsea much more dynamism and change, especially in the attacking third of the pitch, giving Chelsea a different set from what they have with Mykhailo Mudryk and Pedro Neto. So in the second half, Chelsea moved into a 3-2-5 structure with Jadon Sancho playing in the left wing and Marco Cucurella playing in that left half space position. Now, before we even begin, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, the first way that Jadon Sancho is going to improve Chelsea is taking out the pressure and the burden from Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer has been regarded as Chelsea's most dangerous player, the player who is actually able to create for Chelsea, and teams are coming up with ways of marking him out of the game. Now, looking at this clip and how Chelsea looked to play against Bournemouth, we realize that as well as Bournemouth are pressing Chelsea, Chelsea are trying to find Cole Palmer, who likes to drop deep and pick pockets of space to receive the ball. But what you realize is that Cook was assigned by Bournemouth to actually track Palmer everywhere he goes. And you can see wherever Palmer actually tries to go, he has a player already marking him. And this was advantageous for Chelsea because this would open up gaps and spaces in the further areas high up the pitch where Chelsea will position other players and look to progress with the ball. But having a player as influential as Cole Palmer taken out of the game gives Chelsea so much problem, because Palmer is one of the best passers of the ball, one of the best intelligent footballers with the ball, a player who can create something out of nothing, and one of the most important and crucial players for Chelsea. But how did Jadon Sancho actually prepare Cole Palmer? Looking at this clip, you can see Cole Palmer coming to pick the ball. You can see that Cook has already moved, man marking him, and this allows that even when Cole Palmer receives this ball, he will not receive the ball with the time to turn and actually look to create. And that's why even Cole Palmer's number of fouls have increased in the league. Again, Cole Palmer has come short to receive the ball from Disasi, and you can see Cook has already dropped deep to cover him. Now, this actually made Disasi not to play the ball to him, because he could actually lose the ball in this position, because I've told you, teams are now adapting their strategy to mark Cole Palmer out of the game. Again, you can see here. Now, this made Enzo Maresca to change during the second half and have Cole Palmer actually move to that right wing position. And this actually made the Disasi make silly passes in the midfield area, and the ball will be won by Bournemouth, and Bournemouth will immediately look to counter against Chelsea. Now, when Tosin Adrabio came on, Fofana, in this case, who was playing as the central centre-back position, was attempting to also play those balls in between the lines for Cole Palmer. Remember, Palmer plays as an extra player in midfield. He likes to drop deep into midfield, pick up the ball, turn, see players making runs in behind, and look to create something for Chelsea. And because Palmer was looking to do this, opponents were really touch tight on him. And so, what did Jadon Sancho come to do? What did Sancho actually come and implement in this kind of system? Because we know very well that teams have marked out Cole Palmer as one of Chelsea's most dangerous players. And now Chelsea had to adapt. Because Cole Palmer, a player who's very instrumental for Chelsea, was actually being marked out of the game, and majority of the times when he received the ball, he could only pass the ball backwards or be fouled on. This really created tactical problems for Chelsea. And actually, Bournemouth had Chelsea in the first half because Chelsea were unable to create anything substantial during that time. And even complemented with the Disasi's poor passing and poor game reading, this also further exacerbated Chelsea's problems when it came to picking Chelsea's most creative player in Cole Palmer. So why is this the case? And how is Jadon Sancho actually fixing this problem? Now, when you look at these several clips that I'm showing you, you can see that Cole Palmer is receiving the ball and automatically being marked out of the game. Receives the ball, a player or two are around him. Now, Enzo Maresca had to come with a way to stop this because Chelsea could not progress playing like this. But another advantage that we saw now is that other players such as Cucurella, who's playing as the left half space player, did not actually look to drop deep in that space there to receive the ball. And this just forced Cole Palmer to be receiving the ball in areas where he could not be a threat, like receiving the ball in that right wing back position was not effective for Cole Palmer. And we also did not see other players looking to actually drop deep and occupy positions left by Cole Palmer. That's why in the second half, Joao Felix also came on, because you see, Cucurella playing in that left half space position cannot play in that attacking midfield position. The movement of Nicholas Jackson also was not quite the best. And you can see that even the space that Cole Palmer had vacated, we did not see Noni Madueke actually looking to occupy that position, because I believe that Noni Madueke should be the one who should have been dropping deep to receive the ball. But Maresca wants him to stay high and wide. And so Palmer being marked out ensured that Chelsea's zone 14 was left unoccupied. Sanchez also tried to play those lofted balls over the top in those positions where Palmer actually looked to occupy, and the same problems came up. And that's why it was more like a basketball match throughout the first half, because the opponents knew that they just had to take Cole Palmer out of the game, and Chelsea were really ineffective. So Chelsea decided to move down the left, and that's why there was a heavy reliance on attacking down the left because of Cole Palmer's exorbitant man marking. And we saw Sanchez looking to play lofted balls to Levi Colwill, who was playing in that pseudo left back position. And this brings us to Pedro Neto. Now, Pedro Neto is a left-footed player who's being played down the left, but I believe Pedro Neto is an incredible, dangerous, lethal right winger, better than Noni Madueke. But because of Noni Madueke's form, he had to shift towards the left. So let's look at Pedro Neto Cucurella's axis. Now, because both of them were left-footed, Pedro Neto was not shy from receiving the ball in that outer left wing position, as well as Cucurella, who was occupying the left half space. Now, the problem with having Neto and Cucurella on both sides is that you lack diversity, because both players are left-footed, and Cucurella is not like an attacking midfielder in that sense. And because opponents will now show the ball onto their stronger foot, which is the left foot, these players will only be effective in moving towards the touchline and not actually creating potential threat, potential danger in the inside channels that Chelsea heavily rely upon from them to actually improve Chelsea's overall performance. Looking at Robert Sanchez, he looked to find Colwill in this position, and because also Colwill is not like Cucurella, who can advance with the ball down the left, he will just look for the ball and pass to Pedro Neto, and this made Chelsea's attack ineffective. Changes had to be made in the second half, and in came Jadon Sancho. Now, Sancho gave Chelsea something unique. Sancho gave Chelsea something different from what Chelsea actually had. What are these two changes that were actually made by Jadon Sancho upon his entry in the second half? Now, Sancho is a player who, you remember the problem that Chelsea had in the first half in the left wing? Pedro Neto down the left, Cucurella down the left, and the left half space position not well occupied. The zone 14 left wing of the zone 14 was not effective. Now Sancho came in. Sancho, being a right footer, his inclination is actually to pass the ball in field and actually look to dribble in field. Now Sancho is an elite dribbler and is a player who's very comfortable in receiving the ball in tight spaces. Now let's see some clips. You can see here, Chelsea are actually looking to play the ball now towards the wide area. Now, Palmer has dropped deep, but now Viega decides, now, let's attack down the left. Now, the left-hand side, remember, has been left free because all players are concentrating down the right to try and counter Cole Palmer. Now, Sancho receives the ball. Now, when Sancho receives the ball, he receives the ball and is dribbling inside. He's moving inside to occupy that left half-space position. Now, this has to force the fullback as well as the central midfielder to go after Sancho, because one player cannot cover Jadon Sancho. You can see here again, Sancho has dropped deep He's receiving the ball directly from that left wing position, and he's already looking to turn and try and progress with the ball forward. Now, Sancho is creating problems because his inclination to pass the ball in field is actually making him a dangerous threat. Because of Sancho's ability to actually come short, receive the ball, and look to turn, he not only gave Chelsea that dynamism down that left wing, but a player who would come short, receive the ball in those Cole Palmer-esque kind of positions, and now with no marker, he would turn and just look to play the ball towards the right wing. Now, Sancho is showcasing not his offensive threat when it comes to actually attacking the left wing, but also a player who's able to drop deep in those pockets of space, showing another creative aspect of his game. And him dropping deep from that left wing position to occupy those left channel position will free up Cole Palmer, who has been the player who's dropping deep from those positions. Now, with him and Sancho dropping in those positions will ensure that Chelsea have much more dynamism, and two players cannot be marked out, because now it is going to create disorientation from the overall structure of the opponent, giving Chelsea much more needed depth, unpredictability, and lethalness when it comes to actually making precise attacks against their opponent. Now, Jadon Sancho is coming to Chelsea to improve this aspect of Chelsea's game. And as I had promised you that I'm going to compensate the days that I have not uploaded to you, here's my second video. And before we even conclude this video, I want you to see how Jadon Sancho's effective movement in the game, his effective dribbling ability, his effective link-up play with Marco Cucurella made Chelsea even more potent, made Chelsea even more dangerous, made Chelsea even more unpredictable, making Chelsea so strong and unable to beat. Now, when you see this clip here, you can see how Sancho dribbling into that left wing position not only made problems for Bournemouth, but also made it creating chances for Chelsea. And his stronger right foot made him even more dangerous, and this is why he was able to make that match-winning assist. We are going to do more analysis on Jadon Sancho, see how he's going to improve the overall performance of Chelsea, and hopefully we can see what he will bring to Chelsea in the future. If you've enjoyed this analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, as well as thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.